Okay, so good evening, Serhii. So thanks a lot for joining.
Thank you
And
for the invitation.
can we start with a small introduction from your side?
Yeah, sure. My name is Serhii Vasylenko. I'm an engineer from Ukraine. Currently live in Kiev city, but previously I lived in Kharkiv. I've been working in IT industry since 2011 or somewhere there. So it's about like 10 years or 11 years so
Oh,
far. Yeah,
wow.
actually Yeah, I worked on different roles. I started from just level one support engineer and then grew up to system administrator. Then I was a tech lead of the department. Then I changed the job. I was a team lead. And finally here, currently, I'm developer experience engineer in Grammarly. I've joined Grammarly in November 2020. So I've been working here for about like 8 months or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Grammarly
Um,
is a very hot one now. It's really getting more and more popular.
yeah, thank you. We are trying our best. Yeah.
Oh. So what kind of work does this involve being a developer experience in Grammarly? So,
hmm Well, a lot of things actually. Well, our focus is to make day-to-day routine job of developers to make it easier and more efficient and more secure and more automated and so on and so
okay.
on. So, well, what I mean here is, first of all, it's a software delivery life cycle, right? So it's CI/CD stuff, it's some other automation, also infrastructure-related components, and so on and so on. We also do a lot of work to foster the like infrastructure-wide experience. We do some internal stuff related to education of newcomers. We do a lot of like documentation stuff as well, and so on. So something like that. Yeah.
Oh, so basically for the developers who are working on Grammarly, you try to
Yes,
improve
exactly.
their experience.
Yes, to improve the experience and to provide tooling, different tools for just to simplify the development of Grammarly offerings and products. So they could stay more focused on development process and to have a lot of things automated for them and in secure way and reliable way
Okay.
as well.
Oh. A developer experience is an upcoming field again. So, what does it take to become an expert in developer experience? Does it require any particular skill, or is it more specific to the organization? How is it? How does it go?
Yeah, great question. Well, I would say that it requires both like hard and soft skills. Where when I say hard skills, I mean we have to know a lot of about Amazon cloud, for example, right? AWS. We also have to know a lot about like GitLab or other automation tool set, like to know how to use Terraform, all this DevOps stuff, right? This infrastructure management things. Of course, some programming skills required as well, because we use a lot of automation, like self-made services, self-made tools that we create from scratch, like from nothing. For example, we use Golang to do that. But also it requires some soft skills, because not only to you have not only to create something, you need to explain how to use that, you need to support this tool, you need to like respond on different requests. You need to explain stuff and teach people how to use this, that, and so on. So it requires you to be like empathetic, to listen, to provide the answers in the proper way, and so on. So soft skills is a must as well. Yeah.
Okay, so it's a combination of both.
Yes, I would say it's a combination. Yeah.
That's great. So, like again, is it some? So, suppose I want to get into this field. I want to be a developer experience expert. So, is there a particular roadmap for me, or
Well, so far, I wouldn't say that there is some particular step-by-step roadmap exist. Because, for example, in Grammarly, we are looking for engineers when we look someone to join our team. we're looking for engineers with a wide experience, with a wide background, but preferably with cloud experience, with robust system design approach, with SRE experience as well, and of course some development experience is also required. But I can't name, like some particular tools you must know or somebody must know, because if, for example, if you know how to work with cloud formation, you will surely, well, you have a lot of chance to get familiar with Terraform very fast, right? And vice versa. If you know how to create tools with Python, you will probably won't have difficulties learning Go, and vice versa again. So if you are already proficient in some skill, in some tool, it's okay. It's good to go, because it's not a big deal to jump from one to another if there's some necessity or so. Yeah. I would say that the most required thing is to be eager to learn new, and to not to stay on the one place or something like that. To be ready for challenges, and to be not just to be ready for them, but want to solve them or something like that. Yeah. Because we have a lot of things to do, to work on, and they are quite challenging. So
Okay.
yeah,
So you
not
should
to
be
be
able
afraid.
to, yeah. You should be able to imagine what is the problem a developer would have, and then make sure it is addressed. Something like that.
Yeah, actually, it's a great addition. Thank you. Because part of our job means to solve something, like some existing issues, some existing requests, some existing, well, something that comes from developer teams to us, right? But another part of our job is to invent tools, invent approaches, invent automations, well, whatever, to be proactive, right? So we create, part of our time actually goes to creation of something that had not been requested before, but we analyze the situation, we see how engineering teams work, and we try to understand what else do they need or may require, whatever. So yeah, part of our work is quite proactive, and we try to predict some issue and create something to that before it happens. Yeah.
Oh, so you must have really learned something while you were a developer, so that now you are able to do this.
Well, yeah, I would say that.
You have seen the other side of the chair, so now you are able to do more for the developers. And
Yes, exactly. And when I mentioned the soft skills, it also helps to collaborate with engineering teams, with development teams better, because sometimes we can jump into some process of creation of something and advice, right? And we also need to see and analyze what do they do. Not only, it's not about just, okay, hey guys, could you please create something for me, and we just, okay, it's done. No, the better approach is to try to understand why do they need that, how will they implement that, and after they get it, try to see what do they do to use it, how they use this new something that you created, well, whatever it is. And that makes this, like, developer experience approach actually exist. This is what it is about, not only to solve somebody's issues, not only to respond to requests, but also be proactive as much as possible, and to see how it goes there in their field. Yeah.
okay, interesting. And how many years have you spent in developer experience?
Could you please repeat how many what?
Yeah, you have been working in the IT industry since 2011,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
in
Well,
developer experience.
formally, because we have this like developer experience team, was formed not so many like years or months ago in Grammarly. in particular. Previously, well, we can call this DevOps, right? Actually, it's not a big deal how to name these things. It's more about the way you work, right? The approach of the work, actually. So here we call it developer experience. In my previous companies where I worked before, we call it just DevOps. It's also fine to call this way. So it's something about it. And so me personally, I've been working in DevOps field for the last 4 or 5 years. So previously I was a part of well, till 2016, right? Yeah, till 2016, I was a part of technical support team, and there we were called like system administrators. But again, it's not a big deal how you call the team or how you call someone's role, right? So, but from the formal point of view, yes, I've been working in DevOps field for the last 5 or so years. Yeah.
Okay. One thing about DevOps that most people dread is like the number of tools that keep coming up. And by the time you are master one tool, you have 10 more in the market. How do you keep pace with that?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you. I would say that, well, my personal advice to myself and my mantra, keep calm and master something. Just learn one tool. Be good in it. For example, Terraform, right? We have Terraform, we have CloudFormation, we have CDK, we have Pulumi. Something else is about to emerge as well. I don't remember exactly. Well, at least 4 tools to solve the same thing, to manage the infrastructure. You can say, whoa, I will never have the time to know this all. Yes, of course. It's pretty hard to be good in all of them. But it's not important, but it's not necessary to be good in all of them. Just try to be good in something one. Something, how to pick. Okay, which one to pick? Terraform, CloudFormation, Pulumi, something else. Many factors can help answer that. Well, the most obvious one, try to speak with your colleagues, right? I mean, if you just join some company, if you're about to join some company, you just need to ask that company, what tool do you use, or will you use? Or maybe there are some companies that do not use any of that tool. Okay, you can gather a meeting with your team and try to decide which one to, toss a coin or something like that. If you have no other options, just pick one. I mean, but it's better actually to read some, web papers, some technical blogs, to see some comparison, because they still, they solve the same thing, but in different ways. And sometimes when it comes to selection of picking some particular tool, you need to analyze a lot of different nuances. You need to understand how will you use it in a year or 2 or so. So it's it may be quite complicated, but actually it become complicated when it's about something huge and big. I think actually that you meant something more simple, right? In your questions, how so for somebody who just starting their career, right, in IT, right? So just pick something and just be good at it, or try to be good at it. I always learn something good, and that's pretty much it. And same approach goes fine with any other. Like a popular question actually I heard about developing language, some programming language for DevOps, right? So is it Python, is it Go, is it Bash, or something else? Again, just learn something, be good at something one, and everything else you will, if you know Python really good, or if you just learn Python, believe me, you will be pretty easy for you to learn Golang or something else again, just because all the paradigms or all approaches, well, not all, but a lot of them are similar. So it's not a big deal. And then, yeah. So in total, my summary here would be, don't be mad about the number of tools, but just stay calm and try to be good at something, at least
but
something.
The question still remains, which one?
What?
Which one tool?
Well, for me, for example, and frankly, like fortunately, my team, we use Terraform for infrastructure
Okay.
management. And we use Golang to create automations, to create services that we need to create from scratch when we need to, automate something and or something like that. Yeah. Well, we also use like Bash scripts or so, but like for infrastructure management, it's a Terraform. For configuration management, it's an Ansible, for example. Yeah, they are really, really good.
Great. So, like, if not DevOps, what would you be doing? Like,
Huh. I think that, yeah, actually, well, like several months ago, with my team, we had this team building meeting via Zoom, and we had the similar conversation. We asked these questions to every one of us. So if it's not DevOps, what would you do? So I would say that if it's not DevOps, if it's not IT at all, I would go with music. I don't know. I just like
oh,
music.
oh,
Yeah. Not that I can play guitar or something. Well, I can play harmonica and bongos a little, but yeah, if it's not DevOps, I would say it would be
okay.
music.
Nothing else in the IT industry is good. Okay, so again, the main problem for most college students or fresh graduates is just which one should I choose? So how should one go about this choice? Like,
Yeah, you mean which to choose what the field of work or tool?
yeah,
Could you please
which
clarify
field
that?
of work, maybe web development or mobile or DevOps or machine learning or data science or security or blockchain, like it's
Hmm.
hundreds of options. When I passed out, it was just Java, nothing else. I didn't
Yeah.
have any choice. But today we have a huge choice and people are really confused.
Well, I think that the question what to choose or where to go or what to do in like any form, I believe that every human being ask itself, well, not at the start of own's career, right? But sometimes we can like work for like several years in a company and then like wake up one day and say, okay, what do I do, and do I really want to do that, and what should I do next, or something like that. But
Okay.
eventually I would say that uh there are, and it's good actually, there is no like some particular answer like what technology field to choose or which like which job is perfect for me. Well, I don't know, maybe there are some kind of tests, or when you can pass a test and see are you good in like blockchain, or you good in automation testing or something like that. But most important here is to do what you really like, and even better if you not just like it, and when you the better option is when you love it, when you love
Mhm.
your job. Well, for me, my job is also is also my hobby. Well, I have several one, but still, one of my hobbies is my job. I like to learn about technologies not only when I'm in office, but I like to read technical blogs when I'm out of office. I like to test some tools, to to mock some architectures, to do something like that with tools I use not only when I work in Grammarly, right? On my weekend, for example, I like to learn something, and so on. So I love my job, and I love these things what I do. When I first started my career, like back in 2011, I just tried to I just decided to try something. When I joined that company back then, and I joined the team, and I started my work as a support engineer, I had like not a zero knowledge, of course. I knew something back then, but I just didn't know. Again, I just didn't know what should I choose. Maybe system administrator, maybe development, maybe something else. But I just said to myself, okay, just start with something. Just
Okay.
try it and don't be afraid. You can change your job then. Nobody will, shut you down if you just say, "Oh, I changed my mind. I need to do something else. I want to do something else." It's pretty much fine. I mean, it's okay to test yourself in different fields and to try different jobs. Just pick some that you find interesting for you. And this is what I said to myself, actually, and this is what I want to advise to everyone else who's starting their own career. Just don't be afraid to try in something. Just do what you find yourself interested in. That's it.
Cool. So how do you see yourself? Do you plan to stick along with the job, or do you have a plan for some product and startup? Or
A good question. Well, when I firstly saw, I seen that TV show Silicon Valley. I'm sure you heard about it. Yeah, and I was like, whoa, that Pied Piper project. Whoa, this is so good to be in a startup. Well, I don't know. Well, first of all, I'm not kind of like a job hopper person or so, but nothing bad about it. I mean, but still, I'm kind of I like to stay for long in a company when I work. So it's just like me, my personality. I like to to know people better. I like to know to work in a company for many years just to know it better and so on. But my personality, personal things. I don't see myself in as a independent entrepreneur or something like that. Well, I'm not sure if I do not have some skills required for this to create my own something. I don't know. I just like to work for a company I find interesting, but most of it when I joined Grammarly, I did it because I when I started to look for a new company last year, I wanted to join a company that creates a product that I like. So I was a Grammarly user before, and I'll actually use Grammarly for the last 3 years or something. So long before I joined Grammarly, I was already using the Grammarly product, right? So I wanted to join a company that I feel like common vibes with it or so, and that creates a product that I like. So when I finally joined Grammarly and when I work with Grammarly like in present time, right today, I feel this connection that I actually do something that helps with creation of the product, right? So in a certain way, I'm part of this process, right? Well, not in a certain way, actually. In fact, I'm a part of this process. So back to this comparison with Silicon Valley TV show and startup and so on. So I'm a part of this startup. Well, of course, Grammarly is like about 12 years. So it's not like a startup anymore or so. But inside the company, we have this atmosphere of startup very often because we create different new things like every quarter or so. So it's kind of amazing, and I'm feeling excited about all this. So I'm a more like corporate slave person maybe, but for some part, I'm still finding it's interesting to work for a company as Grammarly because we never get bored here. I mean, it's not like big boring enterprise. No, it's definitely.
that's cool. So what would be your advice to a fresh graduate or a college student? How should they go about their career? Some important points.
Well, I guess two or three. Okay, first one would be do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to test something new, to try something new. Just don't be afraid. I know how it feels when you're feeling like completely lost, and I remember myself back then when you just don't understand what should you do. It's pretty fine to feel that way, but try to like embrace yourself and try to find some courage and actually like send the CV, send the resume. Don't be afraid doing that. Nobody will hurt you for a bad resume or something like that. Just don't be afraid to do that. The second is don't be afraid to make mistakes as well, because, well, funny case. When I was looking for my very first job, I created this CV, one-page CV. I was sure it's pretty much fine, but I mentioned that I know HTML, but I made a mistake in HTML and I wrote HTL. I missed this M letter. Yes. So just imagine how hilarious it was. Like if you are a recruiter and you see that person says, I know HTML, like CSS, HTML, and you see HTL. What is HTML? So he meant HTML, but does he really know HTML if he make a mistake? Right? So I noticed it like after, I don't know, 20s or after I sent like 20 CVs or something like that. I was so embarrassed about it, but I didn't die. I mean, it happens. So I corrected that mistake and continued my searches. So don't be afraid, and don't be afraid to make mistakes as well, and try and learn from your mistakes. Of course, if you see that you made a mistake, try to analyze it, try to do something to not repeat it again, right? And when it comes to selection of tools or tool set or languages or something like that, again, my personal advice, my own approach, do what you like. If you just feel like in some metaphysic level, I don't know, if you feel that you like Python better because it's called Python, because it looks like snake, I don't know, but actually Python named after Monty Python show, but anyway, so just because you like it, okay, let's just go with it, because every popular development language, programming language is like is popular not because it names good or feels good or so, because there are high demand in specialists who knows that language. So it's not a big deal if you choose one or another. If you're good at it, you will find the job, believe me. So yeah, that's pretty much all advice I can give. Well, I can give more, but I respect your time.
That's nice. I've given a good overview of your journey about how you started with DevOps, and also talked about developer experience, which is really an upcoming field, and people should know about how to get in there. That's a very nice points you have given.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks a lot for your time. I'm sure the audience will benefit from this.
Thank you for having me this today. Yeah, I was really glad to share my experience with you. That's great.